Hey, how's it going?
Hello.
I'm Ben,
Michael.
and we're the Lorekeepers of Poznan. Now, we don't normally do little short videos like this. We're normally doing like a competition, or
Yeah.
we're doing some commentating on an event or a game or whatever. So why are we here, Michael? What's happened?
20 minutes, basically. Is it 20 minutes? Yes, it's about
It's
20 minutes
half
ago.
hour ago. Yeah.
We just been hit with an absolute huge news. So the Disney Lorcana website was pretty silent, let's say.
Yeah.
They only said about, hey, we're gonna have the February application update, then some creative spotlight on one of our, actually a Polish person, very deeply working with Disney Lorcana, and so on. But now, let's jump to it. So
yeah,
we have the update to our core constructed format.
And I'm gonna do this my best. I'll do this my best radio presenter voice. If
All
you
right,
scroll down,
do
the
it.
rest of it, I'll do it. Disney Lorcana today, the Ravensburg and Disney Lorcana TCG team announced removing 2 cards from eligibility, known as a ban, which is my favorite thing, by the way, that they have to treat, because obviously for them it's a new game. For players for the first time, the word ban it's effectively going, we have to explain what a ban means. In the core constructed format, a ban is an important part of keeping a trading card game like Disney Lorcana thriving and fresh. The game design team chose to ban Hiram, Flavisham, Toymaker, and Fortisphere to ensure the greatest diversity of successful strategies was available to competitive players. The ban is in effect of April 8th, 2025, so from today, meaning all Disney Lorcana events taking place after that date will no longer accept deck lists which these cards included. This marks the first time cards have been banned since Disney Lorcana TCG launched in August 2023. Lordy. No card is designed with the intention of not being played in competition, said Elaine Chase, Chief Marketing Officer for TCGs at Ravensburger. But in order to keep the meta game healthy and challenging without it feeling stale or repetitive, seeing the same strategies again and again, the TCG design team at Ravensburger made a difficult decision for the good of the game. We know bans are the last line of defense, and we will only pull that lever when the increase excitement for competitive play. Hiram and Fortisphere are gone, my friend. That is what that means.
There are some additional clarifications that they are not removed from the game. They are still viable they are still playable.
Friendly tournaments.
Not competitively.
Yeah.
Please join the discussion on Disney Lorcana Discord server and so on and so on. And also, a very important thing. The ban does not affect fans playing core constructed events in China and Japan. Representatives from those areas will provide a separate announcement localized to their market as to how these cards will be handled.
This is the issue, right? Is that sometimes the card designed for the early game meta has then bled into the when I say early game, I'm referring to the early life cycle of a game.
Yeah.
This what set he's set 2, right?
Yes.
Hiram.
So that was is set 4.
Yeah, so he came out in 2023. So he was a vital card for the sets that in China and Japan need in order for blue to be a viable deck for a lot of people. And would be, I suspect, viable to set 3 or set 4. I wonder when they will then introduce some form of ban hammer. I wonder if it will be set 5, set 6, for example, rather than a total ban. However, it does set a precedent because they know this ban's coming. So actually, they can't rely on it. So they are going to have to look for alternative options. Right, you've played more Blue Steel than me by a long shot. Michael, how are you feeling?
This is absolutely huge. So, Hiram, I think Fortisphere is... I kind of understand it, but I will come back to it. Hiram is the main thing here. Hiram, during the whole life cycle, let's say, of Sapphire Steel, Hiram was always a pivotal card, let's say. We thought the same thing about Cogsworth, the big one, 2/5 with Ward. It completely fell off from the decks, but Hiram was moving nowhere. When Sapphire Ruby decks starting to grow and branch out to a different versions, Hiram was always there because it was basically the only viable draw, let's say. There were some different options, but it was always a one horse race basically for that trophy.
Looking at it from a logistical perspective, so just why Fortisphere? Blue steel is there is issues with blue red, there is issues with blue steel, but blue steel is the more dangerous of the two.
Yeah.
In terms of in how popular they are in the meta. We've seen major tournaments that have had 60-65% blue steel, and
Yep.
actually top 32 being 60-70% blue steel, right? Like it can be a dominating color and matchup in the market. So but this hinges on two items really: Fortisphere and Porsicle.
Yep.
Blue is always has and always will be item heavy. That is what blue does. Blue has always been an item heavy deck or an item heavy color comparison. So banning Porsicle would actually be quite damaging to the entirety of blue,
Yep.
not just this format of the deck. And actually, I think why Fortisphere, it means that they delay the ability of the removal spells, removal songs, and removal ability and actions of the steel side of the field. And actually, and I mean this with respect to blue steel players, I rarely know any blue steel players who actively used Fortisfield's bodyguard. And I think that
I
is
saw
also
it
part
once.
of it, right? Yeah, and I think that's part of it, right? Like, there are other items in the blue category. There are some items in the red category that actually are more commonly used. For example, Vitasphere, is that what it's called? In Ruby.
Oh, Vitality Sphere. Yeah.
Vitality Sphere, for example, which is has a very similar sort of position in the market. However, fits better with the deck and is actually its passive abilities are used more commonly.
Yep.
Fortisphere is just used as a quick draw and to give Hiram and Bell more power. So
Yep.
I can see why that card was caught. Fortisphere wasn't the problem, though. That's what I'm going to
No,
just
no,
quickly
no,
say.
no.
Fortisphere wasn't the problem, but it was a logical ban, I think, in order to sort of slow down the momentum of this deck.
Yeah, I think what happened this set with introducing of the new Tamazoa, with the new who is it? Is it Donald? Or
Yes. Oh no,
it's not
Oswald.
Oswald was there.
Scrooge.
Scrooge. Yeah, not Donald, the Scrooge. So introducing the new Tamazoa, the new Scrooge, I think that made them pull the trigger and basically try to get rid of this blue steel, like a very slow, constantly million triggers version. But Hiram, I don't know if you remember, but we had a couple of talks during games, tournaments about, okay, Bucky was first, what would you change next? And I'm always open on saying that statistically, in my opinion, the big Diablo shift is just statistically unfair, but we got more and more things to actually answer him. But Hiram, I don't know if you remember, but I always brought up Hiram as a card that needs something. Like it needs some change, because drawing two cards is a lot. I would say maybe draw one. There was actually a joke, I think, on the 1st of April when someone
caught me.
Yeah,
Caught me.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, yes, and I was wrong for the wrong reasons, but it was so much worse. No, but
the second thing,
draw
lowering,
one, right?
yeah, exactly. So draw one was one option, but the second one, which I was I was thinking more and was leaning more towards, was lowering the willpower of Hiram. I think the 6 in the bag, it's a lot.
But there's lots of angles that could have gone with it. So this is, for those who aren't familiar, this is referred to as an errata, which is effectively they keep the card conceptually in play, but significantly change its ability or change its outcomes. That's what we saw with Bucky. Bucky was not outright banned.
Yep.
He was changed to effectively nerf him, for lack of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the same thing we could have with Hiram. Hiram could have gone with when you play banish an item, or when he quests banish an item, but actually not both. For example, there was loads of different angles, but let's be honest, printing cards is expensive. Printing cards is a lot of work, a lot of resources. Actually, this greatly takes a huge chunk out of blue. I have absolutely no idea what this means for the meta.
My
Like, people are
first thought.
already.
My first thought.
Go ahead.
Sapphire Steel wheel with Cogsworth is so back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But there is still answers to that, which is because that
Yeah.
deck can brick. That deck can brick. That deck can really struggle. It's not a bad deck. It's still a great option. But then that's a blue steel that was consistent but not broken, right?
Yes.
Like it could be defeated quite fairly with various different abilities, various different outcomes.
I'm
This was
now
the issue. Is
thinking about what happens to Sapphire Ruby.
this is what I was trying to work out earlier because I actually think Sapphire Ruby is now significantly more at risk of bricking, and actually that's what
Because
makes it much more.
what
of a
other
threat.
draw they have?
Exactly. So Sapphire Ruby is weirdly not caught in this ban in the sense of none of their cards were impacted, but they are so much more impacted compared to the other metas. I think. Yeah, I'm trying to think because they yeah without what draws do they have? There is little pieces here and there, right? Banish a card. Some
Oh, sorry. Oh,
racer locations. Racer locations is funny. They could try and go with that, but that's sort of it, right? Is actually the beauty of the red deck was that they were scary, powerful, strong cards
yep.
that you would drop one or two a turn. However, because of the power of Hiram and all of the other inking capabilities, you ended up in a situation where actually you could drop two or even three stupidly powerful cards in one turn.
Yep.
And this prevents that, right? This is low. That is significantly pushing red blue now into much more the late game than the mid range is where it's currently been sat at.
Yeah, I'm just looking. There is a Robin Hood, by the way, in blue from the first
Yes.
set. When you play this character, if the opponent has more cards in their hand, you may draw a card.
It's
There
not
is
reliable.
Chicha. Yeah, there is Chicha. There is still Maurice's Workshop. That's why I see
Yeah.
wheel list as a viable option. With, for example, a queen, a 3/3 queen. When she quests, she can do basically Oswald.
But it's not perfect, and that's
No,
the
no, no.
important
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
right? And exactly that's what they were trying to get back to. In that, my opinion on this is there are going to be some very unhappy people
Oh,
because there are
yes.
people who know how this card works and have been playing this card for potentially since set 2. Know this was going to carry them through some major set tournaments.
Yep.
And that is now not going to happen. This is wild, particularly because set 8 is just around the corner.
That's why I'm surprised. Is that we are having this ban in the shortest season we had ever, and we still have a ban in the middle.
I'm going to guess that this means that no rotation. That's my prediction now.
Yep.
Otherwise, you would have just saved this for the rotation.
Yeah.
Um,
I would.
or pure chapter 1 rotation. That's the other option. Neither of these cards are chapter 1, are they?
I'm happy with that.
I mean, it's going to be interesting for. I mean, that'll be interesting for Ruby, but this means that these cards, Fortisphere is not set 1, is it? No,
It's
set
set 4.
3, set 4. So I guess it could in theory mean pure set 1 rotation.
That
would be the only thing I can see now as
that would be spicy.
Or set 1 reprint, like one or the other. Like
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, this means if there is a rotation coming, it's nowhere near as severe as we could have seen it coming. I can't believe Hiram's been banned.
I also cannot really believe it.
But credit to the team, they've listened to the community. Like, it's difficult in a lot of these sort of circumstances or these sort of games that when all the major players are playing a certain color combo, you don't want to ban it because you don't want to or cause impact on that because you don't want to damage the top of the game, right? You don't want to nerf or ban the top players' characters or the top players' choices, but they are also listening to the smaller communities and also the lower competitive communities, the friendly communities and things like that, and going, okay, this doesn't work. This is mad to me in the sense of I'm so happy that they've banned something, but I said in the chat earlier, it feels like you've said to somebody you can't have more than 4 bullets in your gun. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Like there's still the danger of Bell. There is still the power of being able to sing great songs on turn 2 with Blue Steel. Like there is some still very dangerous combos there, but it's just not as powerful. It's just not as powerful.
I posted my first reaction was posting a meme saying
Yeah.
all the Stingsol players are now very happy with the
Yeah.
market.
I think that's what I think I think any Steelsong player has just been text. Oh, have you heard there's bans? And they've gone, ah, damn it. And then they're looking at their deck and they've gone, Blue Steel. All right, yeah, cool. Chill. Cool, great.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not getting hit with this. Chill. Great. Thanks.
Very interesting thing. We have a couple of big tournaments coming up.
Huge tournaments coming up, yeah.
Before the new set releases. So we have a Stockholm. We have one bigger tournament in Poland, one in Germany, and actually the German one is in the Ravensburg.
Oh, it's in Ravensburg, isn't it?
Ravensburg, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's in the city, in the so this one, and I think we had a fourth one in Europe. Oh, it's Birmingham, if I'm correct, or
yeah, Birmingham's got a big one coming up. Yeah, Birmingham's got one coming up as well. Yeah.
So and also I think Norway said something.
The meta has just been kicked wide open, and that's very interesting. Yes, there are going to. I think we're going to see is initially we're going to see things like Discard, Steel Song, that are still old reliables. People are going to pull those out because they are the old reliables. But give it a couple more weeks when people can start cooking with something a bit different. People are not designing decks to counter Blue Steel now. They're designing decks to win the meta, and that's a much more exciting place to be.
My Emerald Amethyst is going tempo again, probably.
I'm looking at Robin Hood going, Robin Hood might be back.
Yeah, exactly.
And that makes me happy because it wasn't knocked out of the meta because it was a bad deck. It was knocked out of the meta because it couldn't answer Blue Steel.
Yep.
So
you didn't basically had any cuts, but also Emerald Steel Pirates.
That's going to be much stronger now. Lady Lime aggro deck is going to be very healthy now. It's an interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to predict. What I can predict is my prediction. Until the end of the set, Steel Song, still absolutely fine.
Yep.
Amethyst Steel at the beginning will be main deck because a lot of people were already playing it on a high level. But I think it's gonna be pushed out a bit to like an A tier. I think Steel Song would become an absolute S tier right now. I think the aggro, I think the discard. I'm not sure about which one, but I think discard list with Emerald Steel. Emerald Steel or Emerald Amethyst discard, one of those or both of them. And I also feel like Sapphire Steel aggro, like this tempo Kiwi version, would also still be playable.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the Blurple now. Blurple is again a very strange.
Well, Blurple's not necessarily limited. I think Blurple will still exist because Purple does have extremely healthy draw mechanics on its own right. So I think Blurple can still work. It's just not the Blurple we currently know.
Yes.
And it's going to be very much,
And I'm so happy that I decided to go against the current and play this set, my Emerald Amethyst.
I think we might see things like actually, for example, shifted Jafar, when he is exerted, you draw, you gain lore. I think we could see something Blurple there that might be very interesting because effectively you couldn't play it before because why would you play that version when you could play the current version? So this is going to get get real spicy. I only have two things. If you are watching, and I'm going to do the whole YouTuber thing, please comment what you think this means for the meta. I want to love to see those comments because actually the comments we always get are really well thought out. We're very lucky that we don't get any like abuse. It's just really interesting ideas. So we'd love to hear that. If by any chance this ends up in front of the guy who drew, or girl, I can't remember who it is, who drew the Hiram card, I would love to have a conversation with you to understand. I would love to meet somebody and talk to somebody who had their artwork banned. That's a fascinating thing. I would love to actually have a chat with you just to understand sort of a little bit about what that means and how you feel about that. Just if that ends up in front of you. Michael, it's a pleasure. I've honestly, I'll be upfront. It's been hard for me to play Lorcana because the decks I want to play have just not been able to be played.
They
I
they
really
just
would
say
love to play more.
unplayable, to be honest.
Unplayable. And are they playable yet? I don't know. But we have people in our store who play pirates. We have somebody in our store who's playing a puppy deck, and actually suddenly they've gone from being a meme deck to let's cook this thing and let's see
Yep.
what we can do. And that is so exciting. I cannot wait now to play Lorcana. I cannot wait.
It's gonna be a very interesting time, and we have not even 2 months left, and the
Not
new
even
set
2 months
drops.
left. I
Oh
swear to
my
God,
god!
I swear to God, if they ban Fox tomorrow, that'd be the funniest thing. Just out of nowhere, she's like, you know what? This went really well. Here's another one.
No.
But
All
you know
right.
what? You know what? We really decided. We had a thing of thought about it. We just don't like Diablo, and then watch. It'll be riots in the streets. It'll be fascinating. But anyway, it's been a pleasure, Michael. Have a good. I've been Ben,
I'm Michael.
and we are the Law Keepers of Poznan. Have a lovely day, guys.
Thank you very much.